Check this.
Welcome back to Briefing History. Today we're going to talk about the 13 English colonies, their similarities and differences. So with the similarities and differences, it's going to be broken down into different sections. So if you look over to the left-hand side, you see we have regions for settling, we have religion, government, economy. Okay, so these are the four separate sections that we're going to talk about similarities and differences. So let's go ahead and start with our similarities. So the reasons that colonists are going to settle in the 13 colonies are, one, that people left their homes to start a new life. Okay, so you're going to fill this in along with me. You're either filling this in on a piece of paper or you're filling this in on your Chromebook. Now, some differences that we see for the reasons why people are settling here are for the fact that there are some political reasons that we find in Georgia and Connecticut. We have religious reasons, like we find in Massachusetts, Maryland, Rhode Island, and Pennsylvania. And lastly, we have economic reasons, like you find in Virginia and New York. Okay. Remember, as we go through this, if you need to pause because you're typing or you're writing this down, please do so. Don't feel like you have to go through the whole video and then come back. So there are a few more similarities in religion than we have in the reasons for settling. So the similarities we have in religion are that all settlers were religious people. So even though religion might have not been the sole reason why certain people moved to these areas, they are all somewhat religious in their own sense. They all believe in God, and they also played a major role in their life. Alright, so religion also plays a major role in their lives. Now, the differences are the different types of religions that we have and that we see in the colonial colonies. We have Puritans, we have Anglicans, right, or the Anglican Church of England. We have Quakers, Catholics, Protestants, and various other faiths. Okay, next we're going to go to government. So there are different types of government that we see, but there are also governments that are similar within each colony. So the biggest part is that we have self-governing. Okay, so self-governing and this means that colonists voted on leaders to make their laws. Just like we have today where we elect somebody to make major decisions for the rest of the population. This is a form of democracy. You should recognize this from civics class last year. Now, moving on to our differences. Alright, so each colony had their own type of government, or something called an assembly. They were not all united. They had fundamental orders. We had the Mayflower Compact. We have the House of Burgesses. We even had theocracy. And last we had the Toleration Act. Okay. And lastly, we're going to go to the economy. So the economy, all of them are making money through natural resources. So all colonies made money from natural resources from their environment. So they all made money from natural resources from their environment, meaning they're finding things that they're able to either produce or sell based on things that they find within their region. And we also have social mobility. Okay, now this is a big one, and I'm going to star this one. Okay, social mobility is the biggest thing when it comes to living in a place of freedom. You could come here as an indentured servant, and over time, depending on maybe if you catch some breaks or you meet the right people, but you have the ability to go from indentured servant to somebody who is making a large amount of money. It might not be overnight, but you have that ability, whereas in other places, the thought of that happening is almost impossible because it just was not part of their social structure. Okay? Now, we have a lot of differences when it comes to our economy. Right? You've seen in the notes that you took and in the maps that you've seen so far that there are a lot of different things that the colonists are using to make money. Alright, we're going to list these here. So we have farming, cutting lumber, we have merchants who are selling goods, we have tradesmen, we have shipbuilders, fishermen. They even whaling, which is the hunting of whales. We have artisans, skilled laborers, the slave trade. We have fur trapping. And last one, we have iron mining. Okay. So make sure that your sheet looks pretty similar to the one you see on the screen. Don't forget, if you have any questions, to go to Chalk Up and start a discussion board with the rest of your peers and try and help each other out.